So in this video, let's talk about drawing the lowest structure for oxygen. So it's one of the molecules that you guys will come across um, in your general chemistry classes when it comes on when it comes on to drawing lowest structure. So the first thing I like to do is usually write my atoms to the side and how much I have. So in this case, I have oxygen atoms, but I have 2 of them. Now on the periodic table, you should see columns over on the right side, right? So here you might see oxygen, you might see sulfur beneath it, etc. And you might see fluorine and chlorine on the other end, etc. And then you might see helium, and then your noble gases, your neon, your argon, etc. Now, I want you to know that everything in the oxygen's column gives an approximate number of 6 valence electrons. In fluorine's column, you get 7 valence electrons. And in the last column of the periodic table, everything in that column has 8 valence electrons. Now, if you could follow the pattern, you should know that this should give 5 valence electrons. So whatever is over to the left of oxygen, which would be nitrogen, everything beneath that. So that's how we get the number of valence electrons from the periodic table. So in this case, oxygen will give me 6 valence electrons. So now I'm going to count the total number of electrons I have. So now I have 6 valence electrons for an oxygen atom, but remember I have 2, so this becomes 2 times 6, so that would be 12 electrons. So that means I have 12 total electrons that I have to place. So now, since we have two oxygen atoms, I could simply go ahead and draw my oxygen atoms. Now the idea is that I'm going to always start with a single bond, because that's the easiest bond to start with, and that consists of 2 electrons. In this case, one from this oxygen and one from this oxygen. Now, oxygen has to satisfy the octet rule, so in this case, I'm going to put another bond simply because at this phase we're just trying out stuff, right? So we're trying to fit 12 electrons and satisfy the octet rule for both oxygens. So in this case, now we have 2 4, so this is 2 electrons and 2 electrons, so we have 4 total electrons out of the 12 that we have to use. And so in this case, we still have about 8 more. We still have about 8 more to use. Now, if I go ahead and I put 2 electrons on this oxygen, now this becomes 2 4 6 8. So this oxygen is satisfied. I could go ahead and do the same thing on this side. So this becomes 2 4 6 8, and this oxygen is satisfied. Now we're not done yet. Let's count how many total electrons we've used, because the number that we've counted must match the number that we have in the problem. So this becomes 2 4 6 8 10 12. So that means this is a plausible lowest structure for the O2 molecule.